Today's objective is going to be solving word problems. Our first problem says, a car travels in the positive x direction at a rate of 10 meters per second for 2 minutes, then turns and travels in the positive y direction for 30 meters per second for 3 minutes. Finally, turn to a negative x direction at a rate of 20 meters per second for 1 minute. So our first question we're going to answer is, what is the average velocity of the car? Now, in terms of thinking of velocity, you always need to remember that velocity equals displacement over time. So, our first step in finding the average velocity of the car is going to be figuring out how many seconds are in 2 minutes, and then multiplying that by the number of minutes to get the conversions into seconds. So there's 60 seconds in 2 minutes. You multiply that, you get 120 seconds is in 2 minutes. Now you're going to multiply 120 seconds times the 10 meters the car is traveling, which is going to be equal to 1,200 meters per second the car is traveling. Now, the car says that after it travels at a positive x direction at a rate of 10 meters per second for 2 minutes, which is this equation that we did right here, it then turns and travels in the positive y direction for 30 meters per second for 3 minutes. So essentially you're going to do the same thing. You're going to figure out how many seconds are in 3 minutes. Multiply that, you're going to get 180 seconds. You're going to multiply that 180 seconds by the 30 meters per second the car is traveling, which is going to be equal to 5,400 meters per second. Now it says that the car turned to a negative x direction at a rate of 20 meters per second for 1 minute. So again, you're going to do the same thing before. This time you're going to do 60 seconds times 1 minute, which is going to be equal to 60 seconds. Now you're going to multiply that by the 20 meters the car is traveling within this 1 minute, which is going to be equal to 1,200 meters per second. So all of these are the displacement. Now, in order to find the time, you're going to have to add up all the minutes, which is going to be 2 minutes plus 3 minutes plus 1 minute, which is going to be 6 minutes, and this is going to equal your time. Now, looking back up here at our equation, in order to find the average, you're going to have to the average velocity, you're going to have to do displacement over time. So, essentially, these are going to cancel out. So, the displacement of the car is only going to be 5,400. But before we can do that, we have to convert the time into seconds, because it's asking us how far the car is traveling per second. So you're going to do 60 seconds times 6 minutes, which is going to be equal to 360 seconds. So this is now the time per second. Per second, I should say. Now you're going to take your displacement, which is 5,400, and divide that by the time, which is 360, which is going to be equal to 15. So the average velocity of the car is 15. Now, there's another way you can do this, and simply you can draw a picture. By drawing the picture, you start off by saying, okay, the car is traveling at an x direction of 1,200 meters for 2 minutes. Then it travels in a y direction of 5,400 meters for 3 minutes. Then goes into a negative x direction and travels at a rate of 20 meters per second for 1 minute, which is going to be equal to 1,200. So you can see here, this cancels out and this cancels out, which is going to only leave you with 5,400 as your displacement. Now, moving on, we are now going to find the average speed of the car. Now, when finding the average, we need to know that the average is equal to the distance over time. So, in order to find the distance, we're going to add up the total distance that the car has traveled. And when you add those up, you're going to get a total sum of 7,800. Then you're going to figure out the time in which the car traveled this distance, which, back from our first step, we did 60 seconds times 6 minutes, which is equal to 360 seconds. So, you're going to take the distance, 7,800, divide that by 360 seconds, and it's going to give you 21.6. So, we just took the distance, divided it by the time, and this is going to give us our average speed. Now, moving on to problem number 3. It says a car travels in the negative x direction for a rate of 10 meters per second for 4 minutes, then stops for 1 minute, then the car turns around and travels at a rate of 15 meters per second for 6 minutes. What is the average velocity of the car? So again, we're trying to figure out what is the average velocity of the car. And that equation is displacement over time is going to be equal to your velocity. So again, you're going to figure out how many seconds are in 4 minutes, because it says that the car travels in the x direction at a rate of 10 meters per second for 4 minutes. So you're going to do 60 seconds times 4 minutes, which is going to be equal to 240. You're going to multiply the 240 seconds by the 10 meters the car is traveling, which is going to give you a total of 2,400. Again, we're going to do the same thing, but this time it says the car then turns and travels in the positive y direction for 30 meters per second for 3 minutes. So you're first going to have to figure out how many seconds are in 15 minutes. By doing 60 seconds times 15, you're going to get 900 seconds. Going to multiply that by the 10 meters per second the car is traveling, which is going to be 9,000. Now, our next step is going to be figuring out the time. So you're going to do